or any published concepts in the same link 7 p.m. every day. We encourage each one of you to use this space for self and others' growth. Coming to today's presentation, it is my pleasure to introduce Chitra ma'am. Today's review is a book titled about Feel Good Productivity. Let's listen to Chitra ma'am what author says in this book. Welcome Chitra ma'am, the stage is yours. Thank you. Over to you ma'am.
Thank you, Siva ma'am. Good evening to all of you. Good morning to all of you. So, welcome to this session. Today, let's understand from this new book, Feel Good Productivity. So, this is the book. This is actually a new book got released in January 2024, and the author, I think most of you might be his follower, Ali Abdal. He's a YouTuber and he was a doctor. So, and recently he left his career as a doctor and he has completely become an entrepreneur. And let's let me share some of his. Yeah. So he has a YouTube channel and he gives a lot of tips and tricks on productivity. And before that, he started his career as a doctor, and he's basically located in London. And he was born in Pakistan, but completely brought up in London, and he started his career as a doctor, and while he was doing his medicine degree and also while he was practicing as a doctor, he was having a side YouTube channel where he was sharing his knowledge through the YouTube channel. And at one point, he completely became a YouTuber and also an entrepreneur, and moved out of his profession as a doctor. And it's very interesting. But yeah, I think he finds this more fun being an entrepreneur. So he has completely changed his career. That's an interesting thing about him. And in recent days, he's being called upon as a productivity expert by a lot of people, because he, as a doctor, when he was working as a doctor, he also did a lot of things in the side, and he was able to manage his time and energy to do a lot more things. And from that experiential knowledge, he has consolidated all these learnings whatever he had in his life, and he has put his knowledge as this book. And I think he spent around 4 to 5 years writing this book. And as a YouTube follower, I used to follow his channel, and a lot of his videos about productivity helped me. So, and when I saw this book getting published, I was very eager to read. So here I am. I have read the book, and it is a very interesting read and a very new perspective about productivity. You know, the traditional approach, leaving behind all the traditional way of looking at productivity. He has a new approach to productivity, and that is the feel good productivity. So that's what we are going to learn today. And apart from that, like, he has a podcast, and he has done a Google Talk in UK, Google Office. So there are a lot of videos. I would recommend you to go and explore. You will get more knowledge from that. So going into the book, let's go into the book and what we are going to learn. So first of all, why we have to talk about productivity. I'll start with why productivity, because today we have like so many things around us which is hungry for our attention. You know, our phone, the social media apps, the TV, web series, and the lot of matches, the World Cup, IPL, so many things going on which is like hungry for our attention. And it's so hard for us to focus on what we want to actually do in our life. So that's why productivity is really a very important topic for today's world. The reason being that we have so many things to distract us. So how, in the middle of all these things, how can we be more productive? And that is what is a new important skill for today. So that's what we are going to learn. And coming to this question of why feel good productivity, why do we have to feel good about our work and being more productive? How does it matter? How does it going to impact our productivity? That's what first we want to start understanding before learning what all things we need to do. So this is first thing is that one thing is like when we are feeling good, obviously we are more positive and we have more energy, which is like a circle. When we are more positive, it results in more energy and we feel so energetic and we want to do a lot of things, and that will again it will boost the productivity and it will again make us feel good, and it is like a circle which keeps improving on upon our productivity. So that is the reason why feel good productivity, and this is the reason why we want to learn this. And next thing is, let's understand what is productivity. Productivity is, maybe I'll just put this question for all the audience. Please let me know in your own words what is productivity. So it will be great if you can share in your own words.
I would say that productivity is related to outcome. Um, the amount of outcome or the result you get based on your effort. So that could be one measure of productivity.
Awesome, awesome, great, sir. Thank you so much. So how much outcome we are able to get, right? So that is a very good point. Anyone else want to say? Okay, so let's start with this point what Manoj sir mentioned, right? So how much we are able to accomplish, that is being able to accomplish a lot of things, that is the first thing to be more productive. And the second thing is being able to do the right things and the right outcomes what we want to achieve, that is the second thing. So that is about the direction that we are going the right direction. And the third thing is like how much efficiently or how much we are able to utilize our time and resource, our energy in the way where we how we want to utilize it. So that is all about productivity. And as I mentioned, like since we have a lot of distractions and so many things around us, it's very hard to be productive these days. And like sometimes we feel we are not able to, even though we want to do a lot of things, like we are not able to make it. So that's why we want to learn this one. And let's go deeper. And one small note on the discipline. Okay, so what does the discipline? How does discipline plays a role in being productive? So this author has a different view on discipline. Discipline is very important. So, like consider like you want to roll this rock to the top of the mountain, right? So if you are putting your discipline and doing the things, discipline is to do the thing that you have to do, but you still when you are also not feeling to do it. So even if you're not feeling like doing it, you are trying to do it with discipline. That is basically the discipline, right? So this example of rolling the rock to the top of the mountain is like you are trying to, even though it's very hard, you don't feel good, but still you're doing it. But he looks at discipline in another different way. So to get started with the things, we definitely need the discipline to go and show up and start doing the things. And once you have started doing the things one, and after that if you make your work more interesting and enjoyable and fun for you, then you don't need the discipline to keep yourself on the task. Once you start enjoying it, you just need the discipline to start, right? And after that you will be in the flow state, and you will be in a effortless state. So just look at this particular video where this is the hump where you're trying to push the rock until that hump with the discipline, and after that you start putting effort. You really consciously make some efforts to enjoy your work. So after that it becomes an effortless activity, and it's just like rolling that rock from the mountain all the way down. So this is the different um, perspective what the author has on discipline. Okay, so this is a small note about the discipline, and let's learn now. Let's start learning about how to make our work more enjoyable and fun, right? So yeah, like okay, few more points on why feel good productivity is important. This is about boosting our energy. It boosts our energy. It reduces our stress. It's the most important thing to which will help us to reduce our stress, and it also enriches our life and our well-being, right? So that is the reason. And going to the actual content of the book, the first thing, let's learn how to make our work more enjoyable and fun filled activity, right? So there are three important things he shares here, very interesting. So first thing is, there are some energizers. Like if you do these things, it will give you a lot of energy. So those are the things that we are going to learn. So the first thing is play, and second thing is power, and third thing is people. Let's start with play. Okay, so first thing is play. We need to make our work or whatever we are doing is more playful, and bring that playful nature into the work. That will really make us feel good. So first, a point he shares in this chapter is about adventure, right? Being adventurous. Like when you're being very adventurous, like you enjoy the process, and you are more happier, and you enjoy that process. Like there is a research he has shared about this particular research done by University of Miami, where they took a few participants and took their consent to track their GPS location, and they were studying about the how adventure can impact the human emotions. So in that study, what they found was the people who are more adventurous, like who are trying new things, like not taking the same route to the office, taking new routes to the office, going and trying new coffee shops or new restaurants. Whoever were doing lot of adventurous experimental adventurous thing, they were more happier and more relaxed and more energetic. So that's the finding from that study. So he mentions that we have to be more adventurous and try to bring that playfulness into our work. And another thing is, like there is another very good tip he gives here, choosing our character. So I will come to that as the last one. And apart from that, like embracing our curiosity, so being more interested in learning things, right? That will make us more interested and enthusiastic in learning the things. So because the reason, why it is more interesting for us, because it gives us a little bit of dopamine hype when we are curious. So we need to embrace our curiousness, because when we were children, we were so curious, and we were so open. We wanted to know a lot of things. But as we grew up, like somewhere we lose our curiousness little bit. But when we embrace our curiosity, it really brings us interest, and it makes us more playful and fun loving. And coming to the next point is about asking, like whenever you're doing something, right? Just try to ask this question of how this will look like if it is fun, right? So just asking that question itself will make you think about lot of options, like how we can make that work more enjoyable and fun filled, right? So that is one thing. And other interesting thing here is like lowering the stake. So lowering the stake is like sometimes we feel very nervous, or like we feel so anxious when our environment looks like not safe or a little threatening and all. So we need to lower the stake and creating a comfortable and non-threatening environment. It will let us be more creative, and that is one thing he talks about in lowering the stakes, and we will also learn more about it. And next thing is about reframing our the idea of failure, right? So we need to look at everything as an experiment rather than failure, a success or a failure. So that will enable us to not get stopped at one small failure or one small rejection. So that's the other thing. And the last point is more interesting. Be sincere. Don't be too serious. So let's not be too serious, and let's be sincere. Though we sincerely want to do the things that we love to do, but let's not be too serious. That's the point, and that is where we will really enjoy the process rather than just looking at the final outcome. What is this going to bring us? And coming, yes, Vinithitan sir, you want to say
Can
something?
you explain the point? Lower the stakes in some detail.
Yeah.
Lower the stakes.
Yes, sir. So lower the stake is like, let's say I'll take one example. Suppose I want to start a YouTube channel, or or something new in my life, right? So when I think, I'm so nervous that thinking about how is this going to be, like what will everyone think about me, or like how will people take this. So that is like we are setting a, before even we are getting started, we are setting a very high expectation on ourselves. Rather than that, if we are trying to start get started, and like being a little more what to say, not being too having high expectation, starting slowly, and then that will gradually improve upon our quality and our this thing. So that is something related to that. And it comes in the team also, like when we are working as a team, when we have created an environment which is more comfortable or very supportive environment, the people in our team, they won't feel so threatened to ask anything, like they will be so feel free to come and ask any questions, or even just share their ideas in a meeting. So that is the about the lowering the stake, sir. So that will happen when we create a more how do you call that, like a safer environment, no non-judgmental and safe environment within our team, just like our ReadForte team, who, where we have this very comfortable environment where people support us and encourage us. That's the best example I can give. And okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Moving on to this, my favorite question. My favorite one. Choose your character. So when you want to have bring that playfulness in your work, this is a very interesting thing. Let me go to the next slide. You can choose your character. There are he has given some suggestion of some 8 play personalities. In these personalities, if you like any of this, if you think any of these personality resonate with you, you can take that personality and then put that personality in your work. It will um, bring a new perspective and a paradigm shift. So in these, like, let me tell you quickly. First one is collector. Collector is someone who likes to gather few things. You know, those days we used to gather all the stamps, like different country stamps, and we used to gather some coins and all that, and you during the childhood, and even like a lot of people do that, like they collect some rare things and they keep it. That is about the collector personality. And competitor, so one who likes the competition, who feels that competition is very motivating, so they are the one who take that competitor personality. And explorer, like the one who wants to explore a lot of things. And creator, who does a lot of creating new things. It can be any kind of creation, like be it a YouTube video or social media, or even painting or artwork, any kind of creation. And next one is a storyteller, like someone who is good in telling nice stories, interesting stories. And like joker, like one who is very good in making with a humor sense, making the environment very light. Then one who is a director, who can like direct things, who can organize and direct things. And kinesthetic, uh, one who is like likes about moving around, like more of um, what do you call, like likes to move around and being more kinesthetic. So like these are like personalities you can bring in this uh, personality, whichever personality resonates with you, you can bring that personality into your work and it will make it more playful. For example, let me take the scenario of a storyteller. In a work setup, when a person is going for a presentation and wants to sell his idea, he can, if he is a good storyteller, he can put on that hat of a storyteller and make that work, make that presentation more interesting and fun filled. Same way, like this can be applied to any of this character, whichever is close to you, resonates with you. You can take that character. So this was a very interesting thing, which is the most thing which I really enjoyed reading. Moving on to the next topic of energizers. So the next energizer he talks about is power. When we hear this word power, right, suddenly, immediately, what we think is, oh, power is like able to control things, control big things, controlling others. No, he is not talking about that power. Uh, Here, he is talking about the personal empowerment. So, a very good story here, which helps us understand what he is saying. Patty McCord uh, was a CTO of Netflix. So when they were hiring people for Netflix, and when they were recruiting people for Netflix, so what approach they followed was they gave a complete ownership of the work, and they were not too strict about, like, they had to be like so many days in office and should punch in so many hours in office, and they gave a lot of freedom, and they also gave the ownership of the work to the employees. As a result of that, the employees were felt more empowered, and then they created a lot of creative content, creative movies and new original content, and that really changed the culture of Netflix. So that is example he shared in this chapter. And it gives us like an understanding how taking ownership of a thing, how can it be more energizing, when you have an autonomy and when you have the feeling of a control on the things, and when you have that decision in your hands, you feel more empowered, and it will bring in the natural intrinsic motivation to do the things. You don't need any kind of external reward to do the things, like a bonus or will I get my promotion. But when you're empowered, you feel that you have the decision in your hands, and you feel that you have that control in your hand, then and you are the owner of that work, so that will bring that sense of responsibility and ownership. And it is kind of an energy, like it gives you an energy. This is something I am doing, I am taking care of, this is my thing. So it automatically brings you an energy. And the reason and the science behind it is about the motivation spectrum. So when you are having that ownership, you are self fulfilling, you are in a growth path, personal growth, and you're curious and learning new things with your own intrinsic motivation. And this is what how it is different from the extrinsic motivation, where we really need someone's approval or like someone's motivation. This intrinsic motivation is the thing which is in our own control. So this is why the power is very important, and this is really an energizer. So when you have that control, you really feel more powerful and empowered. And he also shared some tips and suggestions to uh, make us more empowered. So the first thing he talks about is about how to boost our confidence. So he gives a lot of tips about boosting our confidence. Like these are like the things which already most of us are we know these things. Like one is about the positive self talk. And when you're going to do something, even though you are not actually feeling confident, you are just behaving as if you are confident and doing the thing. So that is approach he tells that confidence switch. So that is one thing. And other important thing is about leveling up our skills, like learning new skills, leveling up our skills really boosts our confidence so much. And for that also he has shared a lot of suggestions here. Like one is the Soshin approach. It is a Zen Buddhism approach of Soshin approach. Is like starting doing things with a beginner mindset. Like even though you know the things, you have been doing that thing, but when you are doing the same thing with a beginner mindset, that is when you will have an open mind and you will explore a lot of things. So that is about the Shoshin approach. Second thing is prodigy effect. So this is about learning by like teaching others. So when you are learning something new, when you are trying to learn and understand something new, when you go and teach it to people, you will get a deeper understanding of what you have learned. So this is something we have heard it from lot of people, especially from philosopher Seneca. He has a quote like "Qui docet decet." Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, he who teaches learns. So that is the basically that's the meaning. Even we have heard the same concept from physicist Feynman. So Feynman's technique, they call it as Feynman's technique, where the technique where you learn something, you teach it to someone, and when you are teaching it, if you are not able to make sense of what you are teaching, you go back and fill those gaps and relearn and then again teach them. So this is like this is about how teaching can help improve your own understanding of the subject. And the second and the last one is like when you are trying to teach someone, you don't have to be a guru, right? Don't think that you should be a great guru. You just need to be a guide where you should just show some lights direction for them. So that is one thing. If you think you need to be a guru, that might also be a blocker for you to uh, go and teach or share your knowledge. So that is about how to boost our confidence. Let's go to the next topic. This okay. This is about the ownership and the autonomy. So next is the most favorite thing. It's about the people. People are the other energizer. The third energizer we are talking about is people. So first thing is, when I say people, first thing is I want to uh, recognize and appreciate all our ReadForte members and our audience who are joining and supporting each and every one of us as a presenter by listening to us and encouraging and sharing feedback. So people are the one which is the reason why we do a lot of things, because they are the motivators, right? So they are the reason, they are actually the energizers for them. When I want to share these things with you, that is where I get the energy to learn and re- motivated to learn a lot of things, where I can come and talk to you, have a conversation, and share and listen to your perspective as well. So that is about the people, and this is the most favorite part for me. And let's and here in this topic, he talks about the comrade mindset, about teamwork. When we are working as a team, he's explaining the psychology behind that. So we know that teamwork is like splitting of the task, right? But it is like a psychological way of splitting up the task, because when you're trying to do something, when you have your own learned experience and another team member has his own learned experience, when you're doing the thing together, you will be able to do it more efficiently, looking at it in a different perspective, looking at handling a lot of things with a different angle. So that is where that teamwork plays a major role. And it is always best to have a win-win mindset, where it is both win for us as well as our people. And another thing is we rise by lifting others. When we are also helping someone, or when we are sharing our knowledge with someone who needs that, we are helping them. That way we are also rising. So this is all about the comrade mindset, and finding the synchronity with people, and to have that synchronous thing with people helps us to improve our teamwork. And other things are doing random acts of kindness, asking help for others. Like he shared one small example in this random acts of kindness. When he was a doctor, he had a very stressful day, a long day, and working continuously for multiple hours. So when the author was trying to think in a different way, okay, let how can I make my work more happier or enjoyable? So he thought about this thing, when he is meeting people, right? Why can't he be kind with the people or have some conversation with the people? So when one incident he has shared, in his a hospital where he was working, he noticed that one of the nurse was not so not was very stressed and not so relaxed or anything. So when he noticed that, he like usually he's not a person who goes and talks to people, but he thought of just taking that little care and ask what's going on. And then he took her and took her for a coffee, and so that helped her to change her day. So this is a very small act of kindness, but for the person who is receiving that, it will be like a great thing, the whole day's mess. And like we have gone through that, right? That our from morning our days like, oh man, what is nothing is happening today, whole day is a mess. And suddenly someone comes and asks, okay, what happened, how are you feeling? And then you see that radical that sudden shift in our mood, right? And we feel good. Okay, like we feel that okay, someone is caring for us, and that might be a small act for us, but the person who is receiving it, it will be a like very big thing. So that's what he was mentioning here. And the last thing is the about asking for help. So when we need help, we need to reach out to people and ask for help, because the right help, when you take it the right time from the right people, it can really uh, help you, because we tend to think, okay, I will solve everything. I know I will. I know this. I can do this. I can handle this. But the thing is, we need to understand that we are humans. We need people for our support. So reaching out for help is never like a bad thing. So never hesitate. Whenever you need help, please go and reach out for help. People are there for us. And moving to the next one, this is a one small thing about the people, right? So we come across a lot of people, like different kind of people in our life. So he's just giving a little bit of classification here. So when you are going and sharing something with people, you will get like four different types of response for the same thing. Like these are like four different kind of personalities for the response you might get. Like one is the cheerleader Charlie, who is like giving you a constructive response and also an active response. Like he is listening to you, what you're saying actively, and giving you a constructive response. And passive constructive, like there is a character easy going Emma. So the person gives you a constructive response, but a little passive way. Maybe that's like the nature of that character. And another way response you can get is from character of envious Ethan, who is like active destructive response. Like when you are saying something, I'm going to do this. Okay, mudinjade po. Like who gives a very negative response. So that is Ethan, like envious Ethan. And another character is self-centered Sam. So who gives you a destructive response but in a passive way. So these are like four different characters. So I don't want to put people into that bucket. It's just to the act of the response what you get. So it's always best to be a cheerleader Charlie, where someone comes and shares something with you. Be more active, listening to them, and be more constructive and provide them positive feedback. So being a cheerleader Charlie, and we need to find lot of cheerleaders in our in the people around us, and like we have to bring out that cheerleader Charlie in all of the people around us by being a cheerleader. For that, we have to be the cheerleader. When we are a cheerleader, that will influence the people around us, and eventually they will also become a cheerleader. So that's the whole point. And when I say this word cheerleader, I again come back to our ReadForte audience, who always encourage, they give so active and constructive feedback and encourage people, not only me, all the presenters. So thanks and kudos to all of you. And thank you so much for all your appreciation. So this is about the people. Let me. Okay. So now we learnt about energizers. So the three energizers: play, power, people. And this was about the first entire chapter. This is like a section of the book. And there are two more sections in the book. I will quickly cover those two, and then we can go to the feedback session and discussion session. So unblock. So coming to the next one, unblock. When we want to do a lot of things, right? We procrastinate a lot of things. So the what do we think is, oh, I always procrastinate a lot of things. But the reason we think is procrastination is the only reason. But author is giving a new perspective. Procrastination, sorry, I procrastination is just a symptom, but we need to know the underlying reason why we are procrastinating. So these are like emotional blockers that is the reason for being for procrastinating things. One is about the uncertainty, fear, inertia. So uncertainty is like we don't know how the things are going to go in the future. So will this go fine? Like I'm putting all this effort. Will this really give me a good result? We always have that uncertainty in life for each and everything. So sometimes that uncertainty will bring us a kind of emotional blocker. And in order to get out of that blocker, we the suggestion what author is giving here is to gain clarity. Clarity in the sense like you can ask yourself why you want to do this particular thing, and that answer why itself might bring you a lot of clarity, and it will help you to overcome that blocker of the uncertainty. And other thing is like to actually enjoy the process and not just worried about what it is going to give the result, whether it's going to give us a good result or not. But rather than that, focusing on the process, enjoying the process, also helps us to overcome that blocker of uncertainty. And at the end of the day, when you have done your best and you feel really good, and because you have done everything that's in your control, even if it is went as a undesirable outcome, you have done everything from your side, so you will always have that happiness or the peacefulness in your side. Sorry, I went into more philosophical way, but the point is like getting that clarity why we are doing it and implement. And he quotes this point from the book Atomic Habits about implementation intention, like using all this technique of combining the habits. So to build new habits, I will do this new habit, I'll build this new habit after an existing habit. Like immediately when I come from office, I will change and I'll go to the gym. Or like you're trying to attach a new habit to an existing habit. And also like when you want to do something and you put a calendar, you just put a entry, block your calendar, say that this time I'm going to do this thing. So that is one tip he is giving here. The second thing is about fear. So fear is about, we all have fear, like we all have uh, fear in something in our life, right? So he's telling how we can have the courage to face the fear. To in order to face the fear, like only when we face the fear, we can go to the next step, understand our fear, and then we can see how we can reduce that fear. And here he shares one tip of 10 10 10 10 rule, where you can think of it like this. Like suppose you are going through a situation, you have you are worried about whether you will get this job or not or something like that. So when you can ask this question, you can use this 10 10 10 rule. You can ask, is this going to matter after 10 minutes? Maybe for this situation, okay, if I don't get this job, or if this doesn't go well, yeah, it's going to make a difference in 10 minutes. And ask the second next question, does it going to matter in 10 months? By the time it is 10 months, you might have found another job, and you would have not even thought about this particular situation. And when you're asking the next question is whether this will matter in 10 years. So that will give you a broader perspective. So this will help us to reduce the magnitude of like understanding the magnitude of the problem, and is it really worth to be scared so much. So that's what clarity we will get. And If we are more conscious of what people will think about us, trust me, no one is thinking about us. They are occupied with their own things. They're occupied with what other people will think of them and how they should be, but not like, this others are also like us, right? So we are self conscious, but we are less judgmental. So don't be scared if you are having this thing what other people will think. So that's an interesting point. And next thing is about inertia. Inertia is when you have been not doing anything, right, suddenly going and start doing something is very hard. This is directly we can relate it to physics, the law of inertia, right? So when we have not done anything, it's very hard to go and take that action. So and in at that point, it's very hard. So for that, like we can take small steps, defining what are the next steps we are going to do, and tracking our progress, slow, small steps, and creating a slow and long term process for ourselves. So this is about unblocking. Um, Let me go to the next one. Next thing about sustaining our energy, sustaining our productivity. So we have to take care of the burnout, and we have to like these are the points at high level. We have to take care of the burnout. Over exertion happens when we do a lot of things. So we need to stop overcommitting, take breaks, and reduce the distraction. And for the depletion part, he talks about when we are totally depleted, we did not have enough rest or time to recover. We might be in the depleted state. So we need to make sure we calm ourselves, take good rest, and do a lot of things that are relaxing for your mind, like spending time in nature, taking a walk, and slowing things down. And the last one is about the misalignment. So, aligning ourselves with our values. And the important tip here is to use the wheel of life, like most of us we know, to use the wheel of life where you are trying to understand where you are in that, in each role in your own life. So, that is one way you can align yourself. And 12-month celebration. It's like consider after 12 months you are having a celebration with your friends and family members, and you are trying to share what all you have accomplished in this 12 months, and like trying to visualize that, and also thinking in a long term horizon, what you want to achieve things in a long term perspective. So these are the things that he has shared in the sustain part of the book. So um, I have covered all the topics at a high level for the last two. In a quick summary, we learnt about energizers, the three energizers: play, power, people. So be more playful, feel, be more empowered, and have a lot of people along with you in your journey, and that will really bring that energy. And blockers, like we learnt about all these emotional blockers, how we can overcome from that, overcome and get going. Then next one is the sustainers, where how we can recharge and sustain our productivity. So this is a whole summary of what we learned today. And thank you so much for all of your time, always being a cheerleader and encouraging me for doing great learning from great books. Thank you so much, and I'm very eager to hear feedback and your own personal experience and your experiential learning about how to be more productive. I will open the forum for discussion. Thank you, Seva ma'am, so much for hosting it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chitra ma'am. It was a wonderful presentation and lot of information as usual. Uh, so, um, so everyone, please give a applause to Chitra ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So for feedbacks, please raise your hands. Suha ma'am, your feedbacks, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Seva ma'am. Thanks for the time. Chitra ma'am, it was a wonderful presentation. To be very frank, I have sat for your presentation for one of yours where I felt like I didn't have the connection actually. So I just withdrew and I just went off. And for this presentation, I couldn't walk out actually. I was really drawn to it, and you gave such a beautiful insight, and the way it has been enhanced and the way it has been improved, everything was shown, and you definitely brought the total insight of the book, and the essence was very very powerful indeed, and thanks for giving me a beautiful insight. It was like a walkthrough where all we have fallen short, and where we need correction, and where we need improvement. All those were said by you, and I couldn't withhold. That's the reason why I raised my hand first, and it was wonderful presentation, and I really liked it. And it was like, if you could share this slides also, it will be very helpful for us actually, and it will be a learning, because these are the things that we need to have a check on a daily routine basis, so where we can see through, even if we are falling short, not every day is going to be good day or awesome day. So we'll fall short. Eventually, we'll rise up by correcting ourselves and improving for better. So that is what I got to learn from all those things. And it was a wonderful presentation and wonderful book. And I do follow Ali Abdal actually. And thanks for bringing that notable person to actually. Ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir, ma'am. Thank you so much for being a great cheerleader. Thank you so much. I will
Thank
share
you.
the recording and PowerPoint. Sure, ma'am.
Kandipa ma'am, like I wanted to say this because everyone has lauded you for your presentations, the hard work that you put for their purpose also, and I have been a avid follower of ReadForte, and நீங்க எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே வந்திருக்கீங்க, and you have been a great encourager, and you have been a great supporter for many people for their presentation, for their work as well, and it shows how exuberant and what sort of a person you are, and your exemplary way of projecting yourself, and it shows how talented and how well grounded you are as also, ma'am. So thank you so much. Thanks for the in whatever good works that you are doing, and whatever works that you are helping everyone, and bringing a great learning for everyone, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Heartfelt thanks. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
encouragement.
Thank you, Suha ma'am. Sriram sir, your feedback, please.
Thanks a lot. Wonderful day. Thanks for presenting this book. Especially, I don't believe in productivity because I believe in efficiency. Okay, that's one step above it. Productivity in a topic I don't like actually.
Okay,
You
sir.
wonderfully did a presentation, so I don't have. Um, Especially, you gave Red Fort examples and all, where people has to come together as a Red Fort forum. Here I need to thank even Seva ma'am. She has been hosting this show for quite long. And அதெல்லாம் people coming together. You gave good examples
Yes,
and
sir.
cheerleader.
Seva ma'am பத்தி
Yeah.
இன்னொரு விஷயம் சொல்லணும். She puts her creative creator character,
Yes.
and she puts a nice uh,
Yes.
that posters and all, right? So
Yes. Yes.
really,
I really.
first
Yes.
thing,
We need to cheer
first
her.
person who came to my mind when I saw the creator was Seva ma'am,
Yeah.
because of
Thank
the
you.
nice posters, and thank
Yeah.
you,
Especially.
Sriram sir. Thank you so much.
It's pleasure. And procrastination, I had the same issue, Then I realized now why I did that. Monday I have to do a presentation. Last 3 days I've been pushing. It's inertia. It allowed me to think why I'm doing this, procrastinating. I completed today. So what I'm trying to say is it's wonderful. I think what author has given that you've really assimilated and presented it. But whatever the author is trying to say is having consistency in productivity, thereby achieving efficiency. So that way also I like the topic. Otherwise, I am not a great follower of productivity. I think we all need to know what is efficiency because I love efficiency than productivity. Thanks a lot once again. Thanks for this forum. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you, Sriram sir, for your continuous encouragement. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sriram sir. Thank you, Chitra ma'am. Geeta ma'am, your feedback, please.
Yes, Chitra. In the beginning, I have to really appreciate Seva. As others
Yes,
said, she
ma'am.
has been doing a great job in uh, coordinating with everyone. And Chitra, I have to really appreciate you. You are choosing wonderful books for your presentations. I have, I think 3 or so I have attended, not everything I could. I just returned only yesterday, and good that you told me you have a presentation today. And this book, what you have discussed today, it really makes people to move on. And the feel good factor is very, very important for anybody to give uh, the productivity in the sense is uh, the efficiency improves when you have that feel good factor in everything. And when you don't have that procrastination, when you don't have that fear, when you don't, when you feel, and even if you have any if you at any point of time you don't succeed, with this feel good effect, you can say, yeah, so what, I can go on, the next time maybe I will succeed. And teamwork, excellent. You have to take the good one from you. And one more thing is teaching really improves your learning. That's what I have been doing for, I think, for ages. Though I was in corporate, no, I don't know for what reason I took up learning French and also a little bit of German. And what my teachers told me was, even when I was doing my first level, they told me you can start teaching for younger students. And then I started teaching. And today, if I write my exam, I think I will score well, much more than what I scored when I was really doing the exams. So because the grammar and other things, you become perfect when you teach something, and also that you do your training. And another point that you said, I aligned myself with it. Like when you tell stories, it is always interesting, and the point that you want to drive in really gets into the minds of your students or your trainees, which I always follow. I always follow that thing, either anecdotes or stories. That's a very good point. And overall, everything was good. So, hats off to you. Keep rocking as usual. All the best. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Merci. உங்களுக்காக ஃப்ரெஞ்சில் தேங்க்யூ மேம்.
Thank you, Geeta ma'am. Vinay sir, your feedback, please.
வணக்கம். திருமதி சித்ரா எப்போவுமே நல்ல புத்தகங்களை செலக்ட் பண்ணி ரொம்ப அருமையாக தெளிவாக சொல்கிறதுல வல்லவங்க. அழகான ஆங்கிலத்தில் தொடர்ந்து சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி. இன்னைக்கு அந்த கியூரியாசிட்டியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணேன்னா ஒண்டரிங் அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. எதையும் ஒரு கியூரியஸ, அதாவது அந்த ஒண்டரிங் இருக்கணுங்கிறாங்க. வாழ்க்கையில் ஒரு வியப்பு எதை பார்த்தாலும், ஒரு சின்ன பிள்ளைய பார்த்தா அழகான பிள்ளைய பார்க்குறோம், ஒரு நல்ல செயலை பார்க்குறோம், எதுலேயும் நல்ல கவிதையை பார்க்குறோம். அந்த ஒண்டரிங் அப்படிங்கிறத ரொம்ப சொல்கிறாங்க. கியூரியாசிட்டி, லோயர் த ஸ்டைக்ஸ் சொன்னீங்க. அந்த 8 பர்சனாலிட்டிஸ் அருமை. கலெக்டர், காம்படிட்டர், எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரர், கிரியேட்டர், ஒவ்வொன்றையும் யோசிச்சு பார்க்கலாம். நிறைய ஸ்டோரி டெல்லர், இப்போ இங்கே சேவா மாதிரி நிறைய ஸ்டோரி டெல்லர் இருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி. அந்த ஸ்டோரி டெல்லிங், அதில் லேர்னிங், அதாவது ஒரு மெத்தட்ஸ் வர்றாங்க. அந்த டீச்சிங்கில் சிறந்த மெத்தடு, அதாவது லேர்னிங்கில் சிறந்த மெத்தடு டீச்சிங் தான் சொல்கிறாங்க. அதாவது நம்ம ஒருத்தன்ட்ட சொன்னோம்னா அவனுக்கு புரியுதோ புரியலையோ நமக்கு தெளிவா அதுல ஒரு தெளிவு ஏற்படும். அதனால கற்றல் முறையில சிறந்த முறை ஸ்டோரி டெல்லருங்கிறாங்க. அது ஜோக்கர் அப்படிங்கிற போது ஜோக்கு சொல்றவன் ஜோக்கரா? நம்ம எப்படி நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம் ஜோக்கர்னா அந்த சொல்லச்சொற ஒன் ஹூ டெல்ஸ் ஜோக்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது மாதிரி வருமா எப்படின்னு தெரியல. நம்ம என்ன நமக்கு ஜோக்கருங்கிறவன் இந்த ஆடுறவன் கொள்றவன் அந்த மாதிரி நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம். அந்த
ஹியூமர்
அது
சென்ஸ்
ஒரு
அந்த மாதிரி சார். ஆ
ஹியூமரஸ் திங்ஸ் அப்படி மாத்தணும்.
ஆமாம்.
அது ஒரு கலை. அது அதாவது
ஆமாம்.
அந்த ஹியூமர் சொல்ற போது அதை கரெக்டா சொல்லலன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, அப்ப ஒரு பேத்தட்டிக் ஆயிடும். அந்த அந்த அதுக்கு அந்த ஜோக் சொல்றது ஒரு கலை. அதை எப்படி அந்த டோனாலிட்டி எல்லாமே அதுல நிறைய இருக்கு. டைரக்டர் அந்த நான் அந்த ஃபைவ் ஃபிங்கர்ஸை வச்சு இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு. அந்த டைரக்டர் கிரியேட்டர் இந்த ஆட்காட்டி விடலாம். அஞ்சு அது ஐவர்னு சொல்லி ஒன்று பேசினேன். அதில் இந்த மாதிரி ஒவ்வொன்றுக்கும் அந்த லிட்டில் ஃபிங்கருக்கு என்ன ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர் அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். அஞ்சுக்கும் அஞ்சு அஞ்சு கிரியேட்டர் அந்த மாதிரி அது மாதிரி சொல்லுவோம். நீங்கள் 8 பர்சனாலிட்டி ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. டேக்கிங் ஓனர்ஷிப் சென்ஸ் ஆஃப் அக்காம்ப்ளிஷ்மெண்ட் சொல்கிறாங்க. அதாவது செய்து முடித்தோம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு இது கிடைக்குது பாருங்க. அதான் வெற்றி மீது வெற்றி வந்து என்னை சேரும்னு. வெற்றி அப்படின்னா அது இட் வில் சக்சீஸ். நத்திங் சக்சீஸ் லைக் சக்சஸ்ன்னு சொல்றோம். அப்போ அந்த சக்சஸ்ங்கிறத நம்ம ருசிக்கணுங்கிறோம். இப்ப தமிழ் எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னா தெள்ளுற்ற தமிழமுதின் சுவை கண்டார் இங்கு அமரர் சிறப்பு கண்டார். அந்த சுவை காணணுங்கிறாங்க. வெற்றியினுடைய சுவையை கண்டா தொடர்ந்து வெற்றி வருங்கிறாங்க. அது மாதிரி நீங்க அந்த இது சொன்னது நல்லா இருந்தது. அது அதாவது அந்த வெற்றி, அந்த டேக்கிங் ஓனர்ஷிப்பு, அக்கௌண்டபிலிட்டி, அந்த டிசிஷன் டு ஹேண்டில் கண்ட்ரோல்ஸ் நிறைய நல்ல பாயிண்ட்ஸாக இருந்துச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் இன்னொரு பாயிண்ட் எதை குறிச்சானே, அந்த லிட்டில் ஆக்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் கைண்ட்னஸ் அது ரொம்ப சிறப்பு. அது ஏதோ சின்ன, அதாவது மனிதர்கள் புன்னகைக்கவும் அந்த சிறிய உதவிகள் செய்யவும் நேரமில்லாதது போல் நடந்து கொள்கிறார்கள்னு ஒரு படிச்சு. அந்த புன்னகை மாதிரி அது கூட ஒரு உதவி தான். லிட்டில் ஆக்ட் ஆஃப் கைண்ட்னஸ் நல்லா இருந்தது. அதே மாதிரி ஆஸ்க் ஃபார் ஹெல்ப் அது ரொம்ப சிறந்தது. ஆஸ்க் கேட்டா கிடைக்கும் அல்லது கிடைக்காம போகலாம். போய் விதை போட்டா முளைக்கும், ஒருவேளை முளைக்கலாம் அல்லது முளைக்காம போகலாம். ஆனா விதைய போடாட்டி கேட்டாதான் அது கிடைக்காது, கிடைக்காம போகலாம். கேட்கவே இல்லாட்டி ஆசை என்ன கேளடா கண்ணான்னு ஒரு பாட்டு இருக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி கேட்டாதான் கிடைக்குங்கிறாங்க. வாழ்க்கையில விட கணவன் மனைவியிட்ட கூட ஒரு இதுல கூட கேட்க மாட்டோம்ங்கிறாங்க. பலது சொல்றாங்க கேளுங்கள். அதுக்கெல்லாம் என்ன அந்த தயக்கம்னு சொன்னீங்க. ப்ரொக்ராஸ்டினேஷன் இஸ் தி சிம்டம்னு சொன்னது அருமை. அதுக்கு பின்னாடி ஏதோ இருக்கு. அந்த பிளாக்கர்ஸ் என்னென்னமோ இருக்கு. லேசினஸ் தான் திருக்குறள் சொல்லுது. ஏன்னா ப்ரொக்ராஸ்டினேஷனுக்கு காரணம் மடின்னு தான் சொல்றாரு. லேசினஸ் தான் பெரும்பகுதி நம்ம ப்ரொக்ராஸ்டினேட் பண்றதுக்கு. ஆனா அதுக்குள்ள ஒரு தயக்கம் இருக்கு. ஃபியர் ஆஃப் ஃபெயில்யூருக்குலாம் தயக்கம் இருக்கு. ப்ரொக்ராஸ்டினேட் பண்ண ரொம்ப பெர்ஃபெக்டா செய்யணும். எங்கே பெர்ஃபெக்ஷன் இருக்கு? டுவார்ட்ஸ் பெர்ஃபெக்ஷன் தானே வழியே. பெர்ஃபெக்ட்ங்கிறது எதுவும் இல்லை. முயற்சி செஞ்சா தான் ப்ராக்டிஸ் மேக்ஸ் எவ்ரி திங் பெர்ஃபெக்ட். அதனால முயற்சியே செய்யணுங்கிறாங்க. நிறைய சிந்தனையை தூண்டுறது மாதிரி இருந்தது. எப்பவுமே நீங்க செலக்ட் பண்ற புக்கு அது அருமையா இருக்கு. வேற என்னமோ போட்டீங்களே, என்விஎஸ் இருந்தது, பேசிவ் அந்த 4 இது போட்டது நல்லா இருந்தது. எமோஷனல் ப்ரோக்ராஷன் நல்லா இருந்தது. அன்சர்டனிட்டி
ஓகே.
நம்மகிட்ட இதை
அந்த பர்சனாலிட்டி அந்த
அந்த
ஓகே.
4 அது 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 4மே நல்லா இருந்தது. அதுக்கும் அந்த பேரு ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. அதாவது எப்பவுமே சீர் லைடர் சார்லி நல்லா ஒவ்வொன்றுக்கும் சாம் அந்த மாதிரி சீர் லைடரா இருக்க போது ஒருத்தரை ஊக்குவிக்கிற போது நம்மளும் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறோம்ல. அதனால வாழ்த்துற போது நம்மளும் வாழ்த்தப்படுகிறோங்கிறாரு. உயிர்கள் எல்லாம் ஒன்றை ஒன்று வாழ்த்திடும் போது உள்ளிருந்து வாழ்த்துவது உன்குரல் என்றுங்கிறாங்க. அது ஒரு பாசிட்டிவ் எனர்ஜி. இந்த வாழ்த்துதல் பாராட்டுதல் அதெல்லாம் அதெல்லாம் ஒரு கலை. நீங்க எப்படி அந்த முதல்ல சொன்னது கலைன்னு சொல்றது மாதிரி அது இதுவும் ஒரு கலை தான். அந்த பாராட்டுறதுலாம் ஒரு கலை தான். ரொம்ப அழகா, அதாவது சும்மா வெற்று வார்த்தைகள்ல சொல்லாம அவங்க செய்த ஒரு செயலை சொல்லியோ அதை சொல்லி பாராட்டுற போது இன்னும் இட் கேரிஸ் வெயிட்ங்கிறது மாதிரி சொல்றோம். பல விகிதையில இதுங்கிறது. இதுல என்ன ஒரு சிக்கல் நமக்கு ஒரு வருத்தம்னா, இது ரெக்கார்ட் ஆகாதனால திருப்பி கேட்க முடியறதில்ல. சில சமயங்கள்ல திருப்பி கேட்கிறோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். நான் உங்களுடைய ஒரு நூல முதல்ல கேட்டேன். நான் படிச்சிருந்தேன். ஆனா அத சரியா படிக்காத நூலு "ஹூ மோடு மை சீஸ்". அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறம் இல்ல மேஸ் அவுட் ஆஃப் த மேஸ் சொன்னீங்க. அத கேட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் அத நெறைய படிச்சேன். அத பத்தி படிச்சுட்டு அப்புறம் நெறைய தவண அத அத வெவ்வேறு முறைகள்ல அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு அவர் ஐஸ்பெர்க் இஸ் மெல்டிங் அப்படின்னு மாற்றத்த பத்தி புத்தகம். அப்ப இந்த 3 புத்தகத்தையும் நான் சேர்த்து பேசுறதுக்கு முதல் இதுவா ஒரு விதை போட்டது உங்களுடைய மேஸ் அவுட் புக்கு. அப்போ நீங்க ஹூ மூடு பை சீஸ் சொன்னீங்க. அப்புறம் 3 புத்தகமும் தான் எனக்கு நான் வாங்கினேன். வாங்கிட்டு 3யும் வச்சுட்டு எங்க மாப்பிள்ளை வீட்டுல இருந்தது, மக வீட்டுல இருந்தது அந்த அவர் ஐஸ்பெர்க் இஸ் மெல்டிங். அப்புறம் பனிப்பாறை உருகுதேன்னு அதை பத்தி பேசினேன். அப்புறம் மாற்றத்தை பத்தி ஹூ மூட் பை சீஸ் வேற ஒரு தளத்துல பேசினேன். அதனால உங்களுடைய நீங்க செலக்ட் பண்றது சொல்றது பல சிந்தனைகள் இருக்குது. இதே மாதிரி இந்த புத்தகத்தை நம்ம ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணதை மறுபடி பார்த்தோம்னு வச்சுங்களேன், அல்லது ஒரு மெத்தட் எல்லாரும் இருக்கீங்க. நான் ரொம்ப அதிக நேரம் பேச விரும்பல, இன்னும் ஒரு நிமிஷத்துல முடிக்கிறேன். அந்த புத்தகத்தை நம்ம கூகுள்ல தேடுற போது நிறைய கமெண்ட்ரி கிடைக்குது. அப்படித்தான் நான் அதை படிச்சேன். அதாவது நிறைய புத்தகங்கள் 380 பக்கம் 400 பக்கம் இருக்கு, படிக்க முடியல. அப்போ கூகுள்ல 10 நிமிஷம் 12 நிமிஷத்துல ஆர்ஜி ஆனந்தி பேசுறாங்க, எபிக் லைஃப் ஒருத்தர் பேசுறாரு, நிறைய கத்தில நாயினும் கேட்கன்னு சொன்னுச்சு. கேட்கறதுக்கு நிறைய வாய்ப்பு இப்ப இருக்கு. அதனால
எஸ்
கொஞ்சம்
சார்.
இதெல்லாம் ரெக்கார்டா தான் நல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இப்ப சில சமயங்கள்ல சேவா ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி பண்றாங்க. சில சமயங்கள்ல இப்ப நான் அதை குரல் வழியா அன்னைக்கு ஒன்ன ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இப்ப அவங்க மூலமா கன்வெர்டர்னு ஒரு இதை வச்சு அந்த நான் ஸ்கூல்ல இப்ப பேசுனத இதுக்கு சேவாவுக்கு தான் நன்றி சொல்லணும். அவங்க என்னுடைய ஒரு பேச்சு அவங்க ரெக்கார்டு, அதாவது ஆடியோவா இருந்ததை வீடியோ ஆக்கி கொடுத்தாங்க. யூடியூப்ல ஷேர் பண்ண முடிஞ்சிச்சு. நான் இப்போ அன்னைக்கு பேசின ஸ்கூல்ல பேசுனத 1 மணி நேர பேச்சை நான் அவங்ககிட்ட கேட்டு நானே என் பேத்தியை வச்சு ஆடியோ வீடியோ ஆக்கிட்டேன். அதை இப்ப ஷேர் பண்ணியிருந்தேன் அன்னைக்கு. அப்ப
ஓகே
இது
சார்.
மாதிரியாச்சும் அட்லீஸ்ட்
ஆமாம்.
இன்னொரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டை வச்சு நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் நீங்க இந்த மாதிரி இதெல்லாம் அழகான புத்தகங்களை நீங்க பேசுறீங்க, அதை ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுங்கிறேன். சத்தம் அப்படி கரைக்குங்கிறாங்க. சத்தம்
ஆமாம்
கரைக்கும்
சார்.
நிசப்தம்.
நான் அதான் ரெக்கார்டிங்கும் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். மோஸ்ட்லி இது முடிச்ச அப்புறம் தான் தெரியும் அது. சில சமயம் ரெக்கார்டிங் கரெக்டாக வந்துடும். சில
இல்ல நீங்க
சமயம்
ஆடியோ
சொதப்பிடும். நான்
ஆடியோவா ரெக்கார்ட்
ஷேர்
பண்றது
பண்ணுவேன்.
ஈஸியா இருக்கு என்ன பொறுத்தவரை.
ஆ
வீடியோவா நம்ம ரெக்கார்ட் பண்றதை விட கூட
ஆ
ஒரு இன்னொரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டை வச்சா அது ஆடியோவா ரெக்கார்ட் ஆயிடுது. இப்ப ஆடியோ வீடியோ பண்றது கன்வெர்ட்டர்னு ஒரு இது இருக்கு. ஆடியோ கன்வெர்ட்டர்னு ஒரு அப்ளிகேஷன் இருக்கு. ஒரு போட்டோவை வச்சுட்டு அந்த முழுவதையும் ஓட விட்டோம்னா 10 நிமிஷத்துல அது வீடியோவா வந்துடுது. அதை யூடியூப்ல போட்டுற வேண்டியதுதான். அந்த மாதிரி
ஓகே.
நீங்க நம்ம நண்பர்கள் எல்லாரும் முயற்சி பண்ணலாம்ங்கிறதுக்காக இவ்வளவும் சொல்றேன்.
ஓகே
மிகச்சிறப்பான
சார்.
உரை. உங்களை பாராட்டி வாழ்த்தி மகிழ்கிறேன். அருமையான தாளா எல்லாரையும் நண்பர்களையும்
நன்றி சார்.
வணங்குறேன்.
நன்றி.
ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியம்மா. எனக்கு ஒருவேளை நீங்க ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தா எனக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. நான் சிலதை ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுத்துக்கிட்டேன். இந்த 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 படம் இப்ப இருக்கு பாத்தீங்களா, இந்த படத்தை
ஓகே.
கூட ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுத்தேன். ஒருவேளை
நான்
அதாவது
பிடிஎஃபா இது பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சி விட்றேன் சார். நீங்கள் சேவ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
அனுப்பிச்சு
டாக்குமெண்ட்டாக அனுப்பிச்சி
அங்க
விட்றேன்.
இதுல இருக்குல்ல, என்னுடைய எண்ணு தான் அதுல இருக்குல்ல, இது நம்ம தளத்துல இருக்கு, அனுப்பிச்சு
ஓகே.
விடுங்க. அத
கண்டிப்பாக நான் எக்ஸ்போர்ட்
அதாவது
பண்ணி.
அதாவது இந்த படத்தை பார்த்தா நீங்க சொன்ன வழியில இல்லாட்டி எனக்குன்னு தோன்ற எண்ணங்கள் இருக்குல்ல, எனக்கு கனெக்ஷன் ஆகுதுல்ல, அதுகளை நான் பார்த்துட்டு பண்ணலாம். அதாவது
ஓகே
ரொம்ப
சார். கண்டிப்பாக நான்
அஹ்,
அனுப்பிச்சி விட்றேன் சார்.
அனுப்புறேன்
ரொம்ப நன்றி.
ஒவ்வொருத்தரையும்.
ரொம்ப நன்றி சார்.
அஹ், ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி அம்மா, வாழ்த்துக்கள். தேங்க்ஸ்.
நன்றி. தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Thank you, Vinidhitan sir. Soumya ma'am, your feedback, please.
யா குஞ்சன்.
Yeah, hi.
ஹாய் குஞ்சன். குட்
Hi,
மார்னிங்.
hi. Good morning, Chitra. I'm so glad that I chose to, wake up to a Sunday morning to hear to this. Chitra is a dear friend. I am in the US, and she's been inviting me for this forum. I think I've attended one or two sessions earlier, and after that, she's been sharing the link with me, and I've been unable to attend this. But today, something intrigued me about this topic, and I came on. And I'm so glad that I'm starting off my Sunday with such a amazing presentation. I think, like someone said in the group, the choice of book, the books that Chitra chooses, it's amazing. Everything is such a motivator, and especially this book, Feel Good Productivity. Like I think one more person said that, now there are a lot of people who are moving from, productivity to efficiency, but at the end of the day, from a work parlance, we talk about efficiency, but from our day-to-day living, we want to be productive in every small thing that we are doing. And not that we don't know all these things, like Chitra said, we know a lot of these things, but when it comes to application, it becomes very difficult. And the way, the author has written, and I think the way Chitra has presented it is like kudos to you, Chitra. Only I think only you can do something like this. I think you have, in true sense, lived, and presented what the author is saying, that feel good, and at the same time, make it fun. So this entire presentation, I feel, that you made it so much fun in the way you have chosen the characters in each of your slides. It says it a lot. uh, Particularly what resonated with me throughout this is in a very crisp form, the entire essence, because you go through so many different book reviews, uh, and then sometimes you tend to get lost in between. But this, right from the start till the end, it kept that momentum going, and it made, it didn't even let me wander even for 1 minute here and there. That's how powerful, the presentation was, the flow of the presentation was, the examples were, and the very crisp way in how you presented this book, especially the threes. When we used to do training, I remember my manager used to always talk about the threes and the power of three, and I think it beautifully talks about in this book also about play, power, and people. And again, three P's we are talking about, so it's very beautiful. And again, in each of these, you kept it very crisp and not very lengthy. I loved choose your character. You know,
Yeah.
I think that is something which is a very newer concept. We often talk about people's personalities and things like that, but I had this was a very new concept for me, as to choose your character. And immediately you start, when you see this, you start looking at, okay, what's your character? And I'm sure every time we change our character with a different audience. And I think this is like a ready reckoner there for everyone who's playing that character in a specific setting. We can now choose, okay, what is the character we want to play, in a specific setting that we are wanting to get into. um, and again, the entire concept of power, you spoke very beautifully with reference to taking control of your work, autonomy and ownership. There can be a different topic by itself, but I think you covered it so well. I liked the concept of course, boost your confidence, which the second point says, feel or behave as if you're confident. We often call it as fake it till you make it. So even if you don't feel confident, you just fake it. And one day it will be that you are confident. I loved another concept of level up your skill from Shoshan approach, beginner's mindset. I think many a times, whether it be a presentation like this or when we're learning something, we often have this baggage or blockage, that we know something, and it's very difficult to unlearn. And the moment you go like a child, being very curious that you don't know anything and you want to learn, I think your learning goes to a different level altogether. And I think that is covered very beautifully here. And people, again, the quadrant that you spoke about, over communicating the good. Again, not kind of, categorizing people or putting people into those blocks, but I loved that concept. And I believe Chitra has been a cheerleader, Charlie, especially for me and our group, where she's always very active and very constructive. Um, and I love the another concept of unblock and sustain, because while a lot of people just keep talking about how do you do things, I think it also talks about how do you undo certain things that you've been doing wrong, and how do you even sustain it. So I think that in all covers the entire package which is there in the book, and you beautifully covered it. So thank you so much, Chitra, and thanks to the forum.
Thank you so much,
uh,
Gunjan, for the detailed feedback and what all things you really like. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Annamalai sir, your feedback, please.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. Like any other presentation, this was also very interesting, and in a lucid manner, you narrated the things. It has actually created an interest to learn further. I have a question or rather doubt. Under sustaining, you used something, what is it? Burnout, yeah, burnout.
Yeah, yes, sir.
My question is whether does it really happen? Is there anything? Is there something called burnout really? A lot of people are using that word. I'm very doubtful whether is there anything called burnout. What is your view, sir?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm hearing echo. Okay. Yeah. So actually, I'm here burnout in the sense when, like, when we have committed for too many things, or like not only that, right? Like he talks about different types of burnout here. The first thing, burnout in the sense, like you're feeling that like you're overwhelmed with too many things, and you don't have that energy to do the you take up that task further. And it's all about the mental tiredness, that burnout in the sense we are talking about, how uh, we become so tired mentally, we don't even feel like doing any more of it. So that is the state of burnout, what he is talking about, which I understood from my experience. But yeah, it is like, depends on each and every individual. And the depletion here he talks about is about, like, sometimes when we are doing a lot of things and we did not give some time for us ourselves to take a little bit of a break or a relaxation or a rest, not enough rest. So our mind is not calm, we are not able to do our job, we don't even feel like doing it, right? So these are the things, like, experientially I believe what is he's talking about as a burnout. So yeah, if anyone else also want to share, I would recommend, like, if any of our audience, do you have anything to share? What?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can please go ahead.
Can I wait for my turn or can I
Yeah, you
start
can
now?
go ahead, sir. I think no one else
Yeah.
has raised.
Oh, then fine. Thank you for Seva. Thank you so much for the session, and thank you, Chitra Madam. This is the first time I'm listening to your presentation, and I've seen many of time that you are presenting continuously, but this is the first time after a long time I'm getting your presentation. Very nice presentation. I wanted to talk about a burnout. By the time the previous person also wanted to have the pattern. You correctly told a person in a day in a work he have certain amount of hours to work. Correct.
Yeah,
When he or she exceeds his routine work, the burnout comes. That's what you exactly say. The depletion in the point you have to go toward that stress busters. If you take any stress busters, whatever you like to have in a day, in a hour, automatically you will regain power to work again. So the work life balance, we say, 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours for other routines of daily living. When we break or we extend our other work, instead of 8 hours, if you work 12 hours, definitely your sleep or other any other food habits or any prayerful or social things will affect. No, so obviously burnout comes.
Correct, correct. Yeah,
And
that's a good point, sir.
recently,
Sleep
yes,
and rest.
yes, correct. So this recently, I don't know the burnout. Recently, I have received one PhD thesis on only this topic called burnout. It was done
Okay,
in the fathers community, that means priest community in Rome. The paper presented, it
okay.
successfully presented. I think the number of topics around burnout. So I wanted to tell regarding the burnout. So if you wanted to work efficiently or to become a very productive any part of life of daily part of outcome or in a monthly outcome or early outcome, this burnout definitely very important. And the priests are working in a 24/7 in a church, because anytime if there is a death, he has to go in the midday, he has to go get up in the morning, so he doesn't have a correct continuous like a work is 8 hours, no, in a employment, but he doesn't have such work. That's why they have taken this topic. I think I given a little bit about what is burnout.
Yeah,
And thank you so much, Chitra ma'am, and your the topic, the remove blockers and sustainers and the energizer, everything, right? And one more, I've joined only in 7:30 only, and maybe first 10 minutes I didn't listen to the topic. Sorry for that. But that eight character also, if for example 10 10 10 also your points I like. If you have fear or anxiety, even that also you cannot able to work, no, if you have. So that point I love like the very much. So that
okay.
eight personalities, if you are a director, you cannot become suddenly what is that the last person, correct?
Yes, yes.
If you are a if you are a eight personality, you cannot jump from this personality to that personality also, no? If
Yeah,
you are a,
actually, that
yeah.
is something like using personality which is resonating with us in our work. So, like we'll get a new way of looking at the things when we are into a different personality. So it's like you. It's not that we need to use all the eight personality, because we might resonate it to one or two. We can use them, sir. So that is
Oh,
the background.
for a productive work, right?
Yeah,
For any, for example, any in a YouTube scenario, you
creative
make any.
work.
If you are a
Yeah,
creator, you cannot become a travel person. So travel person is a travel person, the last person.
yeah, that is like
Yeah, kinesthetic.
explorer,
Yeah.
creator, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Maybe your recording may help to go back from the beginning. What I missed out in
okay,
the beginning, I can go and if you send in the group. Thank you
okay,
so
sure,
much.
sir.
It's a lovely
Yeah, and
presentation.
when you talked about that burnout thing, I remembered my sister. She's
Yeah.
also a doctor, and she's doing her MS in gynecology. She
Oh.
works like 36 hours continuously. So when I was reading this particular burnout topic, I recognized how much burnout she will be going through, and
Hmm.
the reason why she's stressed whenever I talk to her. So yeah,
Yes.
just another example of a doctor's life also is like
Correct.
comparatively more
Correct.
stressful and not a burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking which kind of personality you are, whether if you are taken a profession of if you are a doctor or you are an engineer, everybody's work task is differ from others, no? And the personality also has to align with your work. Otherwise, you are not fit for the work, no? Sometimes. So people are resigned the job or not able to do it, even though the studious person, they're good marks, but sometimes they're not so efficient. So I'm just thinking over by your presentation, and if you
Okay,
think
okay,
about
sir.
the burnout, yeah, I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, a lot of new ideas when we read this, right? Yeah, it's very.
Yes, yes, correct.
We can. The one important thing he talks here is to be a scientist and experiment these things and find our own way of doing the things more productively. So that's another point
Yeah.
from this what the author
Yeah,
says. Yeah.
there is another book called 4 Days a Week, which I read in 2019 during pandemic, but I unable to present it. It is in New Zealand. He wanted to come to an amendment of employment. That means is instead of 5 days of work in Indian scenario, I think in Indian scenario now people are working 24/7 or working at home and continuously. So automatically burnout comes to something called hire, tire, fire. That is very frequent here in the employment. And now that author says in that book only 4 days work, whereas other mental health factor and physical health factor and work, everything's is productivity is higher, and it's proved in his thesis work. It is 4 days a week, and
Oh, okay.
almost in 2020 I implemented in the parliament in New Zealand. Whether I don't know whether it has happened or not, but that was his idea. This the government of New Zealand is agreed, and he wants to have it in the what is it, the labor welfare on labor, the works hours of work in a day. So we have only 5 days, we are not getting it. He wanted to insist 4 days of work where the entire mental health, including the family life and the work life, everything is better. And the bottom line is the productivity is higher than the 5 days of work.
Okay,
That's thank you
okay.
that your book
Interesting.
only gives me
Thank
more
you.
refreshment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
All the best.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Seva, for giving me opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Annamalai sir. Thank you, Philip sir. Anybody else for feedback?
Sengu, sir. Adano.
Sengu sir,
Please,
நீங்க
sir.
பேசுறீங்களா?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So, thank you, Chitra. நான் இடையில போக வேண்டியதாயிடுச்சு. I had a call, but then I was
Okay.
listening to the first part. So,
Okay.
I think, as your friend Gunjan said, um, you are practicing all of this. Okay, அதனால வந்து நீங்க நீங்க I think you are reading these books to only to confirm, yes, நான் கரெக்டாக தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். Okay, okay, ஆமா, இது பண்றேன், இது பண்றேன். I think when you go through these books, you will just do a check mark நினைக்கிறேன். டிக் பண்ணிட்டே வருவீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
இல்ல, இல்ல,
Uh,
sir. நிறைய, yeah. I
so,
mean,
Arina, so because one thing that everybody would agree is your consistency, right? So, இங்க வந்து இன்னைக்கு உங்க ப்ரோக்ராம்க்குன்னா ஸோ தீஸ் மெனி நம்பர்ஸ் வில் கம் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கலி கம் நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு அந்த ஒரு நம்பிக்கையை ஏற்படுத்திருக்கீங்க யூ பில் தட் ட்ரஸ்ட் ஃபார் சித்ராஸ் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் தெர் பி அட்லீஸ்ட் 10 to 13 people. So, and that trust is built because of your consistency that you're showing in presentations also here, and the amount of good work that you put into, pass it on to us. அது எவ்வளோ எளிமைப்படுத்துறது அண்டு இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரெசன்டேஷனாகவும் கொடுக்குறது. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் லாட் ஆஃப் அஸ் ஆர் ப்ரெசன்டர்ஸ் அஸ் வெல். இதை எடுத்துகிட்டு போய் அப்படியே ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணிடலாம், அந்த அளவுக்கு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது. ஸோ ஐ ஹேவ் த ஒன் ஒரு ஒரு என்ன சொல்கிறது, ஒரு டிஸ்கனெக்ட். ஸோ ஐ திங்க் வினய் தீர்த்தன் சாரும் அதை brought it up. ஸோ when we are talking about சாரி ஐ forgot the point, நான் நோட் பண்ணி வச்சிருந்தேன். சார் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு டவுட் கேட்டார் இல்லையா,
அந்த lowering the stake. அதுவா
லோவரிங்
சார்?
த ஸ்டேக். ஆமா,
ஆ.
அது லோவரிங் த ஸ்டேக் டைட்டிலுக்கும் உள்ள இருந்த அந்த உள்ள இருந்த கான்டென்ட்க்கும் ஐ couldn't see a connect, I couldn't draw any connection. So very able to see a connection.
So lowering the stake வந்து ஆக்சுவலா இது he talked about both the things. One is lowering the bar and lowering the stake. I think நான் அது ரெண்டையும் கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். lowering the barங்கிறது வந்து நம்ம ஏதாவது ஒரு விஷயம் செய்கிறோன்னா அதை பர்ஃபெக்டாக செய்யணும்னு ஒரு ஹை பார் வச்சுட்டோம்னா அதை செய்ய மாட்டோம். பட் லோவரிங் த ஸ்டேக்குங்கிறது வந்து ஆக்சுவல் திங். இதில் என்ன சொல்கிறாங்கன்னா, அந்த லைக் ஹேவிங் அ சேஃபர் என்விரான்மெண்ட், அந்த லைக் இட் டசன்ட் ஃபீல் லைக்
So what was the inside the content on the, it was talking more about creating an ecosystem, creating an environment, psychological safety பத்தி பேசிருந்துச்சு.
correct sir. Like when we have a safe environment, so people வந்து they'll be more creative. அதுதான் அந்த ஸோ அந்த ஸ்டேக் வந்து லைக் இஃப் யூ ஃபீல் தட் ஓ இஃப் ஐ டெல் சம்திங் ஹியர், இது வந்து இட் ஷுட் பி அ வேலிட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், இது கரெக்டான ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டாக இருக்கணும், பர்ஃபெக்டாக இருக்கணும், அப்போ தான் என்னால் சொல்ல முடியும்னு இருந்துச்சுன்னா we won't have, like we might be afraid of telling that in that place. ஸோ அதுதான் அந்த லோவரிங் த ஸ்டேக்குன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஆனால் இது வந்து எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இது அந்த டீமாக இருக்கும்போது லைக் நமக்கு இஃப் யூ ஹேவ் சம் ஜூனியர் பீப்புள் லைக் ஹூ ஆர் நியூலி இன் டு த டீம், அந்த
Okay,
மாதிரி
so I
என்விரான்மெண்ட்டில்
don't set high, I have set a high benchmark so that they will be afraid,
கரெக்ட்
even thought அப்படின்ற மாதிரி.
கரெக்ட் சார்.
Okay,
மேபி
and also
எனக்கும் இது
very curious.
கொஞ்சம் கேப்பாக தான் இருக்குது. ஐ வில் ரீட் திஸ் சார். நான் இன்னொரு வாட்டி ரீட் பண்ணி.
Okay, and also the second one I noticed now summary எனக்கு see beautifully done. எனக்கு என்ன ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னா, the whole idea of this book review is earlier days it used to be like this. அந்த புக்கை பத்தி எல்லாரும் ஷேர் பண்றோம்ல, this discussion after that 8 o'clock is what is really beautiful. அது இங்க நடக்குது. I am very happy that is happening. So everybody brings in their perspective. இப்போ ஸ்ரீராமன் சொன்னாரு, I had a different thought process, so we were able to share. But we will be appreciating each other's viewpoint. அது ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு, ஹெல்தியா இருக்கு. தட் இஸ் சம்திங் விச் வி வாண்ட். கீதா மேம்ல ரொம்ப நாள் கழிச்சு நானுமே வரேன். அது கீதா மேம் பேசலாம் கேட்கறதுக்கு சந்தோஷமா இருந்துச்சு. So now coming to this, the second one that I was also here, catching my attention was this communication, the four quadrants. Yeah. So the four quadrants வந்து I am sorry I missed it. So இருந்தாலும் just trying to understand. So over communicating the good அப்படின்ற டைட்டில் போட்டுட்டு அது கீழே இந்த ஃபோர் குவாட்ரன்ஸ் வந்திருக்கு. ஐ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் த ஃபோர் குவாட்ரன்ஸ், பட் அந்த டைட்டிலுக்கும் அதுக்குமான கனெக்ஷன் சொல்ல முடியுமா? ஐம் சாரி.
அது வந்து என்னன்னா ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து நம்ம ஓவர் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங் த குட் அப்படிங்கிறது என்னென்னா, அது கம்யூனிகேஷன் வந்து நம்ம வாட் இஸ் சேயிங் இஸ் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த டைம் வி திங்க் தட் வி ஆர் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங் ப்ராப்பர்லி. ஆனால் அந்த ஆக்சுவல் கம்யூனிகேஷன் வந்து கம்மியாக தான் நடக்கும். ஸோ அப்போ வந்து சம்டைம்ஸ் நம்ம நிறையா கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணுறோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, வி ஃபீல் லைக் வி ஆர் ஓவர் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங். பட் இன் ரியாலிட்டி தட் மே நாட் பி அன் ஓவர் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங். நமக்கு வந்து இட் மைட் ஃபீல் லைக் அன் ஓவர் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங், பட் அவுட் சைட் இஃப் யூ லுக் அட் இட், only when we try to communicate more and more and more, the actual communication will happen அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு இது லைக் த வே வி ஃபீல் அண்ட் அதுக்காக அந்த ஓவர் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங் த குட்டு சொல்லிட்டு போட்டிருந்தாங்க. இன்னொரு வந்து அந்த லைக் வென் வி ஆர் இப்போ ஒருத்தவங்களை நம்ம அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணுறோன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். ஸோ சம்டைம்ஸ் நானே யோசிப்பேன் லைக் ஐ லைக் ப்ரைசிங் டூ மச் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. அந்த மாதிரி நினைக்காம அப்ரிஷியேட் ஒருத்தவங்களை நம்ம மனசார அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கும் போது லெட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் bring that down, and I will do that lot of time. Like most of the time I will be like easy going Emma, even though I want to appreciate someone so much, like I will when I convey that message, like I will reduce that energy, like I will be little passive. அது இல்லாமல் அந்த சியர் லீடராக இருக்கும்போது when we go to that cheer leader and communicate it with more actively, அப்போ வந்து it will reinforce that positive thing with
correct.
each other.
I totally understand the four quadrants புரியுது. So the over communicating அந்த தலைப்பு கீழே இது வருதுன்றதான் என்னால கொஞ்சம் ஐ எம் நாட் ஏபிள் டு கனெக்ட் அண்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். அந்த கனெக்ஷன் தான் கேட்கணும்னு நினைச்சேன். I think otherwise I think we all should you should have the best of friends to know that you play in all the four quadrants. So I can think of Dr. Anbu easily in all the four quadrants. Okay.
Yeah, each one of us we will play that. Yeah, correct sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
அத வந்து நம்ம ஒரு பெர்சனோட நேச்சரா இல்லாம ஜஸ்ட் ஆஸ் அ லைக் ஃபார் அ ஃபீட்பேக்.
ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜியா வச்சுக்கணும். இட் ஷுட் பி a
கரெக்ட்.
communication strategy. So
கரெக்ட், கரெக்ட்
as
சார்.
your friend also said, அது எந்த இடத்துல எப்படி ப்ளே பண்ணணும்ன்றது சுச்சுவேஷன் அண்ட் பீப்புள் தகுந்த மாதிரி.
யா, எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார். கரெக்ட், கரெக்ட். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ சார்,
ஸோ
தேங்க்யூ ஃபார்
உங்களுக்கு உங்களுக்கும் நன்றி, உங்க குடும்பத்தாருக்கும் நன்றி. ஒரு ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமை காலையில அதிகாலையில உங்களுக்கு. ஸோ இது இருக்கிறத ஒரு வீக்கெண்டையும் விட்டுட்டு இன்னைக்கும் இதை பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்களேன்னு உங்களை சகிச்சுக்கிட்டு பொறுத்துக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதுக்காண்டி அவங்களுக்கும் தேங்க்ஸ் சொல்லிடுறோம். ஸோ இவ்வளோ கன்சிஸ்டண்டா எங்களுக்கு டெலிவர் பண்றது, ஒரு குவாலிட்டியான ஒரு செஷன் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ். தட் ஒன் சண்டே மார்னிங்.
தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். நான் நவ் ஆக்சுவலி நான் ஐ எம் அலோன் ஒன்லி. மை ஹஸ்பண்ட் இஸ் yet டு ட்ராவல். அவர் இந்தியாவில் தான் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ ஐ எம் யூட்டிலைசிங் மை லோன் டைம் பை ரீடிங் த ப்ரிப்பேரிங் அண்ட் ஸ்டடிங். எஸ், தேங்க்யூ,
ஓகே,
தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்
we
சார்.
are lucky. Thank you.
தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்
தேங்க்யூ.
செங்கு சார், அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் எவ்ரி ஒன். பொறுமையாக கடைசி வரைக்கும் இருந்து லெசன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு. யூ ஆல் மேட் மை டே. தேங்க்யூ.
தேங்க்யூ செங்கு சார். சுபா மேம் நீங்க பேசுங்க.
Ma'am, a kind reminder actually. I need this presentation. If you could share it in the group, it will be of very useful. Thank you
யா,
so
யா,
much.
ஷியோர் மேம், ஷியோர். கண்டிப்பாக நான் ஷேர் பண்ணிடுவேன். I'll put it in the ReadForte group, ma'am. வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்பில் போட்டுடுறேன் மேம்.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I will also take this opportunity to thank once again சேவா. நன்றி, வாழ்த்துக்கள். ஸோ இவ்வளோ கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக நாங்கெல்லாம் மறந்துடுறோம், ஓடிடுவோம். ஸோ விடாமல் பிடிச்சிருக்கீங்க, அதை காப்பாற்றிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச்.
தேங்க்யூ சார்.
தேங்க்யூ சேவா மேம், தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப டைம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா எடுத்துட்டேன். தேங்க்ஸ் மேம்.
எந்த வேலையும் இல்லை மேம். தேங்க்யூ.
தேங்க்யூ, தேங்க்யூ.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.
தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ எவ்ரி ஒன். ஹாவ் அ குட் டே.
நாளைக்கு வினிதி மேம் சார் பேசுறாங்க. எல்லாரும் கண்டிப்பா வந்துருங்க. தேங்க்யூ.
ஓகே மேம், தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
Thank you all. Thank you,
தேங்க்யூ ஆல்,
everyone, and thank
தேங்க்யூ,
you.
தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
தேங்க்யூ.